pain, first of all, you can think about it as yourself because you're the one in pain. So that can make you selfish and grouchy, and maybe all of the focus is on you, so you're not able to, maybe help the people you want to help because you're not physically able to. It'd be horrible. I mean, it'd be hard to find, someone you want to spend the rest of your life with. It'd be hard to find best friends because, what friend wants another friend that's grouchy all the time? Who wants to be around someone that all they talk about is how much pain they're in or how their head hurts? No one wants to be around someone like that all the time. And it changes your personality. Actually, I was pretty confident when I was 13, but I had problems physically with like headaches and stuff. I was always sick, but my outward appearance, I didn't really see that big of a problem. I always just thought it was just a normal way to be. Kids miss school. I just missed a little bit more school. I would always, it was a routine. My parents were used to going to pick up my homework, and I would always do my homework at home, and I'd miss at least probably 1 day a week, which is pretty significant when you're talking about a full year of school. It was really hard because I didn't really know why I was in pain, because I'd had headaches for such a long time that it wasn't even really like it was a headache. It was just more like I just didn't feel good. Yeah, I would be tired and I'd be really out of breath. When a 13-year-old runs, they're usually able to run for a significant amount of time, especially if they're active. But I would run and I'd feel like I could keep going, but I couldn't catch my breath. I'm not in shape. What's wrong with me? Like, all my friends can do this. Why can't I run this far? It must be because I'm not in shape. I need to try harder. I remember that there was a school performance, and I had a solo, and it was like a choir thing, and I wasn't able to go because I was sick again. And so, for a 13-year-old, that's like life or death. I get a solo and I can't do it. So for a 13-year-old, I guess that would be imprisonment because you can't go where you want to go. I'm thinking that it was a big deal just because now I think I've had strep throat once since I've had my surgery, so it's not normal. And I'm just thinking that I'm really glad that my parents found out about Dr. Hang and the procedure, because nobody should go through feeling like they're inadequate. When I have time to just run, I could probably run for 5-6 miles. Well, you always want to stop at 1, but you always think, I can go another half a mile, and think, oh, it would be that cool if I ran 2. So you just take it one step at a time and think, oh, I feel so good. Or I feel like I'm dying, but it feels so good to run just a little bit more. That would be incredible. It would be enormous. Just because it was something that I wouldn't have been able to do. So it not only I've been to the finishing in a marathon and seeing the looks on people's faces as I pass, and it's just such a relief also, because you've been training for how many, 3 or 4 months constantly, and when you finally reach that point, a breaking point, then it's such a relief when it's over, and the triumph that you feel when you've completed it. Well, I've never been a runner, and so being able to do that would fulfill being able to do that would fulfill doubts that I'd had about myself, that I wasn't able to do it. Being courageous for me was before the surgery, after I had been told and realized that I had all these physical constraints that were pushing me back from what I could be. It was just looking back and thinking that, well, yes, I did have all these physical constraints, but I was still happy with who I am. And I look back at my childhood, and it was painful, but I wouldn't change a thing because it made me who I am today. I mean, I've asked them, like, how do you get when you have a headache? I mean, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to talk to anybody. You usually just want to sit in your room or try to dull it out by watching TV or a movie or listening to music. And in 10 years, I mean, you're not still going to want, in 10 years with the increasing amount of pain, then are you going to want to just sit on the TV or try to numb the pain? You're going to want to be going out and to have a career and to have friends, and you want to be able to go out with friends. And so this pain that you're feeling now will just keep increasing as you progress in life, and your personality and your feelings will come out in the pain. And so you don't want people, when they look at you, to think that, oh, that girl's in pain, she's not happy with how she is. In 20 years, I mean, your face is going to completely change. Do you want your chin to drop? Do you want to continue having headaches? I mean, these aren't fun things, so you really have to look to the future. So if I keep progressing without changing anything, how will it look? And will I be happy with how that looks? Because you don't only have to think about how you look now, but how are you going to look in 20 years when, you know, a 13-year-old, you might be dating or, you know, having job interviews, and you want to look your best and to be at your best potential. And so if you progress along these lines now, with no change, are you going to be satisfied? My mom spent 6 months of her life on the phone with insurance companies trying to get my surgery approved so that they would pay for it. And at that time, I was 13, I didn't really understand what that was about. But now that I'm older and I can look back on it, that was a huge deal, and that must have been very trying. And, you know, for knowing enough about the surgery, but not, you know, I hadn't been around for that long. It didn't have that many examples, and we were seeing a doctor that we'd never met before. It was a lot for her to do for me, and I'm really grateful for that. And both of my parents just worked so hard to try to get me to where I am today, which I couldn't have done without the surgery. So.